Department of Senior Affairs presents
So the media is fine because they have mics up here, but I'm using this as a warning to my fellow speakers, and I know our artist is here. You got to kind of really project for us this morning. So we're doing it the old-fashioned way. You know, we should have just gotten the bullhorn out of the back of my car.
Thank you.
Okay, so listen, we are here today. First and foremost, I see some Sawmill community members, some Arts Board members. Welcome, everyone. This is a festive occasion to commemorate this art. So let's just give all of us a round of applause for supporting this project and showing up. So I'm just really going to kick things off. Actually, I think what I thought we should do is I'm going to give an overview, but really we're here to focus on the artists and the folks who've been involved in this project. And so by way of background, this is a wonderful public art project. It's brought to you by our public arts program, which you're going to hear about. And I'm going to check because I know Sherry is not on the agenda for some reason, but she runs this program. And so once again, another strong project for us. Let's all thank Sherry Brueggerman. She's been doing this for decades. And of course, too, I think our Arts Board members, are you going to specifically call them out?
I think Bernadine.
Okay, Bernadine's going to do that, so we'll hold that. So we'll thank our Arts Board too. But let me just say this, I think, to begin. Look, we believe that public art is very special in general. It's one of the things that helps us tell our own story. It's one of the things that helps us understand our own history. And in many ways helps us sort of feel a sense of belonging in our community, even when it makes us feel uncomfortable. That's all part of what public art does. And I think great public art also is a discussion piece for all of those things and in between. So you're going to hear about this specific piece a little bit more, especially when the artist comes up to tell us about it. But I just want to let you know, from the first time I saw this, we were talking about it when it was pitched, I said, you know, this is a really good fit. And so I'm going to kind of hold my interpretation of this till the end because I want you to hear from the experts first. But I will give you a clue. It has to do with water. And so fitting because of, you know, obviously water's role in everything in New Mexico, and we'll go into this in a little bit, but also just physically, this is a Mafka drainage pond. So it fits all of those things together in a wonderful story that I'm sure the artists will go into a little bit and we'll all discuss further. But let's just remind everyone about where we are. This is the Sawmill Community Land Trust. I think one of the seminal, successful projects of mixed-use housing and development in our state. This way predates me, so I want to thank everyone who was doing it long before I came around. But I heard about it even when I was a state senator when this was being built. And so now I think there's been multiple generations of both families who've lived here, but also community members who helped set this up. This is truly a role model project for the state of New Mexico and the city of Albuquerque, and it continues to be. And there's actually sort of new phases in the works out that way. So more on the land trust later. So I think with that, let me hand it over to we're going to go to the artist next, actually. So let's, a big congratulations and round of applause. Thomas Sayer is here. Thomas, tell us all about it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So indeed, it does take a village to do something of this scale, and it's been about 5 years. And a whole lot of lives converged on this. I must call out the core team of my wife, Joan Ellen Deck, and colleague, Rian Lord. The core team is here. We put this up 2 days ago. So the 72,000 pounds that this weighs in total came in on 2 trucks and flew in here and was erect in about 6 hours. Isn't that miraculous?
Yes. Good job, team.
So my interest in this piece starting 5 years ago was the very thing that the mayor has touched upon. The idea of truly mixed-use housing in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're wrestling with that same issue with mixed results. The idea of retaining water in this very arid place. Water's of great importance here, but us in the lush east part of the country, water is also an issue there. We just don't quite know it yet. the Rails to Trails, the school with a wonderful dance program at its core, all that was of interest to me and why I applied for this project. I thought this is a site that has a lot of juice to it, good, important human stuff. So what is this piece? My job is to figure out, well, how to sort of speak to all those things and make a cool public place as a result. So I was thinking about us humans and how we have dealt with water for a long time. We have to contain it, we have to protect it, and what we have here are 4 versions of how we have done that over the years. The far one here is the classic Oyo, a very local vase type that will be of great, you'll be able to recognize that easily. And then we have a very universal one that you'll find in Northern Europe, coming down through Spain, Morocco, Africa, Middle East, a very universal 2-handled jug way of containing water. This is ancient, 2,500 years, a Greek vase type. And then lastly, us. That would be the ubiquitous water bottle, perhaps of dubious, maybe we could do better. So how are these made? These were made with molds that create the profile in earthen. The bottom was earth with various amounts of water. When it cracks, it makes those cracks you can see on that one. Or the arroyo that we made out of dirt from photographs I have taken from this area at 2,000 feet. And other handmade, more poetic textures, all whacked into earth itself. These are not earth, these are highly reinforced, and I might add engineered concrete, but they are cast in earth. So I'm now going to soon ride off into the sunset, and its life now begins with you. I hope to come back and see my friends. I've made some friends here, and these are friends of mine, and I'd like to see them again, kind of like visiting one's children. So it's now up to you to accrete your own meaning to these things, and walk around them and have lunch in their midst, etc. So thank you, Albuquerque. When I get up in the morning, what I want to do is make important, meaningful art. And you, this community, has allowed me to do what I like to do the most. So thank you.
All right, so I'm going to bring up Dr. Bernadine Hernandez. She's the chair of the Arts Board, and this is her first official dedication, so give her some extra love. Come on up.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. This is really wonderful to see everyone in person. We haven't done anything in person as long as I've been on the Arts Board, so this is great. My name is Dr. Bernadine Hernandez, and I am the chair of the Arts Board. I'm going to give you a little bit of background of how the process actually went in choosing our artists and how these actually came up. So since 1978, the Public Art Program has purchased and commissioned works of art using the 1% of the city's general obligation bonds, which has now increased to 1.5% thanks to our city, our county and city commissioners and the Arts Board and the office that worked so hard to get that raised and increase. So part of the art selection process for each public art purchase or commission is forming a selection committee made up of diverse community members to identify a work that relates to the physical, the social, the cultural, and historical qualities of a community or site while maintaining a unique and powerful expression of an artistic vision. The selection committee for this actual project included over 17 people over the course of 5+ years. So the Sawmill Public Art Project was first introduced to the Arts Board in 2016, and a selection committee was formed to include Arts Board representatives, a member of the Sawmill Community Land Trust, a member of the New Mexico Water Collaborative, a representative of Councilor Isaac Benton, and other community members. We want to thank all the community members who served on this project. The selection committee developed the national call for artists and reviewed 169 applications through 3 rounds of review. After that, 5 finalists were selected to visit Albuquerque, and develop a design proposal for the site, which they presented to the selection committee. In 2019, our wonderful artist was approved as selected by the Arts Board Administration based on the history of his prior artistic projects that reflected a deep concern for the area and the regions where they are sited. So the Albuquerque Arts Board and Public Arts Program are really thrilled that Thomas's earth cast sculptures will become part of the public art collection after persisting through challenges that came about with not only the pandemic, but the site and design challenges with so many people involved. So we just want to thank everybody for being here. I also want to thank my fellow Arts Board members that are here. I see Emily right in front of me here, so if you could raise your hand. I see Cara over there, if you could raise your hand. I don't see anyone else, but I can't really see that well, so if I missed you, please raise your hand. But we really, really just want to thank you and hope that you stay interested and invested in public art, because it really does heal communities. So thank you.
All right, and now a little bit more about the community involvement in this project. Our own Director of Arts and Culture Department, Dr. Shel Sanchez.
All right. This is really happy to see so many people out here. I think this speaks a lot to how many people were involved, for one, and then just this location. So I have the honor of doing a lot more thank yous. And first, I want to thank the Sawmill Land Trust, because that's where we are today, and this space. You know, this is a beautiful collaboration, and opening up the space to public art, we really appreciate it. I know that there are some representatives from the Sawmill Land Trust, so thank you so much. Also, I want to thank the community representatives. Dr. Hernandez referred to some of them, but I'm going to call them out by name, and I think at least half of them are here. So if you are here, you know, make some noise or wiggle around. Angus McPherson, Bill Sabatini, I know, is here. Emily DeAngelis, Diane Dolan, Jason Coffrey, Wade Patterson, Yvette Tovar, Chad Reneker, I know, is here. Thank you, Chad. Annette Montoya, Mona Angel, Connie Chavez, Glenn Gunderson, Scott, oops, I didn't practice this one, Koo Kendall, oh, I did it, all right, and RuPaul Engineer, his name is Engineer and he's a designer, oh, her, RuPaul,
Yeah.
That is an awesome name, RuPaul Engineer, who was a design architect. Okay, sorry, that I didn't. And Judith Phillips, who is, I think, here. Esther Golden and Chris O'Donnell, who is here. So let's give them a round of applause. Reviewing 169 artist proposals is no easy task, and I think they just get fed with appreciation and maybe snacks occasionally. So we really thank you for that. Additionally, the artist team and the local subcontractors with Snyder Construction, who built the perfectly formed foundations, which if you were watching on Tuesday, it was perfect. They just slid right in. So thank you so much. Crane Services, Inc., who brought out their 140-ton crane to lift these sculptures into place. So really, really amazing. And I think one of the things this reminds us, large projects in our community and from the Sawmill Land Trust itself to works of art like this require a lot of people. You know, the artist's name is on it, and he even himself talks about the team that it takes, but it takes so many people to really step up and participate and put in their time and support and get behind the effort. So thank you to all of those people. I also want to thank our public art team, led by Sherry Brugerman, who's been doing this work for, I'm pretty much since she was born, I think, but definitely for 20 or 30 years in our community, getting the call for artists out, holding community meetings, navigating the funding and contracting approvals. There's a lot that happens once we've selected an artist, and our public art team does that. And I think most of our team today is here. Eric Werner, Mandolin Sanchez, I saw Robin and Matt Carter, who have led this project, especially Matt was the project manager from the beginning, which project this size, navigating that during a pandemic and all the things that, all the aftermath of the pandemic. Thank you, Matt Carter, for all of that work. And then I want to thank Mayor Keller and his executive team, each of whom actively supports and appreciates arts and culture in our community. And that translates to big things happening by artists and for artists every day in Albuquerque. And of course, finally, I want to thank the artist, Thomas Sayer, for his vision, craftsmanship, tenacity on this project, which ended up spanning an entire pandemic. Thank you for your beautiful metaphor of vessels, not only as a reminder that water matters, especially in the desert, but also that vessels connect us all across time, culture, and landscapes. So that brings us to the opening of the sculpture, because it's not open yet. So we're going to officially ask the mayor and Thomas to open this for us, take a few photos, and then Tierra Adentro, I believe, we have a little entertainment right after. So we're going to bless this public art with some public performance art. So hold on. Do you want to say anything else?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Also, do you do anything with the light in the shadows?
Pardon me?
The light in the shadows. Like, do they connect, like at noon or something?
There's no, well, they are aimed due north-south, so you could determine all kinds of celestial things.
I love it, I love it. Okay. All right, so we are going to do the ribbon cutting. I don't know why I'm holding that. It's not even on. So two quick things I do want to mention. I asked him about if there was any connection between the angle and the shadows, and like a good artist, there is if you want to make one. So I'm pretty sure at some time of the day, the vessels are united. You know, we'll have to look about the shadows. But anyway, we can all have fun with that. But also, I meant to mention, this isn't even a fitting placement because, you know, this is going to be essentially the end. It's going to connect a little more. But the rail trail, which is a project that I think many of you have heard about, right? We always talk about the other end, like by the railroad and the rail yards and everything like that. But I do want to mention how special it is that our city, our entire city is going to be connected by this project. But this is the other end of it, that rail spur right there. So this public art is now going to be one of the signature pieces along, you know, what is something that is going to be known throughout our state as an amazing sort of public space connecting downtown and Old Town. So you kind of won the lottery on the location. Yeah. Because when we decided on this location, it was before we even had the rail trail idea. So this, in many ways, is the first public art project also along the rail trail. Okay, so with that, let's do it.
Thomas, and all of anybody from
Arts
the
board.
Committee, arts, public art chair, get up here. Matt, where's Matt? He's not here. Oh, is Dan here? Dan Fuller, are you here? Come on, Dan. Get in here. I didn't know you were here. How are you? People finished your work. That's so great. Oh, no, in. You guys get. Come on in here. Get over here. Squeeze in. Okay.
So, over here. All right, we're doing a countdown. Yeah. It's okay, I'll stand next to you. Why don't you jump in?
Yeah. Come closer.
Thomas, jump in here. I'm just going to make sure we're not cutting Shell's hair.
Wait, don't we have somebody from Sawmill?
Okay, we'll get that one. I'll get that one. Who's the executive director? Grab whoever you see.
Okay. Come on up.
Mark, you get in
Yeah,
there.
and then kind of face.
All right.
It's tough. You gotta cut and look. No, it's okay. I'm good. Cut and leave. See the camera. Okay, so give us a countdown here. 3 backwards. 3, 2, 1.
Sculpture with some dance. Come on over.
Yeah.